Welcome back everybody to Dofus Touch. I hope you're doing well, and today in our next episode we have a lot of ground to cover. And in the first one we were pretty much just doing all the quests, running around, but now let's see how the fights look like. So it's this game is, I think, there are three major areas or three big things that you can do in this game. It's PvP, or player versus player, PvE, player versus everything, or PvM versus monsters, and professions. I'll talk about professions a bit later, but for now let's check out the big segment that is battling monsters. So there are hundreds and hundreds of different monsters in the world of 12. And right now I've selected to battle this green larva. So the battle interface looks like this. Spells on the right side, and on the left side you can see this new thing called a challenge. Every fight you'll get one challenge, or two if you're in a dungeon, and if you complete it you will get bonus experience and bonus loot. So now you can see the statue challenge. So we have to stay in one spot during the whole fight. Actually, we can move and come back to our spot, but right now I don't have the time, so the turn meter was running out. So I can move here and then come back to the same spot, and the challenge will still be up. I've also upgraded the hand, so it's now level 3. And it's dealing 25 damage, which is not bad. Joris, when certain fight elements are hidden, multiple. So we can also turn on the tactical mode and the transparency mode. Tactical mode will sort of clean all the mess on the map, and invisible or the creature mode will make the participants of the fight like small creatures. So we have completed our challenge, got the bonus XP and loot, and our achievement. So rise to the challenge. So we have unlocked the achievement window. So let's see what that looks like. It is right here, I think. Yeah. So this little trophy, you can see all the achievements that are in the game. So general exploration, we've already done a couple of exploration achievements. Dungeons, every dungeon has a set of achievements. So I don't know, let's see, Lord Crow Dungeon. So if you defeat the boss monster first, you get 10 points, and of course for every achievement you get experience and money. Money is called Kama, or Kamas. And also one window that I have unlocked when I reached level 8 is the market window. So you can sell and buy anything you want in the game just by pressing this Kama or market button. Before you had to run around and check special markets, I don't know, a baker's market, farmer's market, jeweler's market, to get that special type of item. Right now you can just press this market button and, I don't know, buy a belt. There's a big selection of belts. I don't know, buy some wood or resources, and also you can sell them. Just press here to go into selling mode, and I've dropped, I don't know, green larva skin, and actually its price is pretty steep. 2000 kamas is the average price. So I don't know, let's see how much it actually is. Yeah, 2000 kamas. So to buy things you can either use kamas or gold teens. I think they're called that way, this green emerald like things. They are premium currency. You can buy them, yeah, gold teens. You can buy them with real money. This game is entirely free to play. You can experience all the content as a free to play player. However, if you purchase the bonus pack, you get, as you can see, 50% experience, plus 50% experience, both for fights and professions, and 50% more drops from each fight. Right now I have upgraded for just 7 days, and I'll see what comes up next. But as you can see, I just dropped a larva skin, which was 2000 kamas, and there are a lot more resources that can be obtained and sold for a greater value. So you can easily hit that 90,000 required for the 7-day bonus pack. So yeah, right now I have chosen to buy that bonus pack and get that extra experience and loot. Alright, so let's get into one more fight, and perhaps we can do the dungeon later. The dungeon in this area is called Incarnam Dungeon, and if we check the map, it should be on the right. There it is. There's Incarnam Dungeon. But for now, let's see what some other monsters look like. So we got a Mush, this fungi, another green larva, and Arachne. So 3 monsters. Good positioning. We can move this window wherever we want, so it's not in the way. And also you can zoom in and zoom out, of course. Alright, so our challenge is to use all our action points. So let's see if we can reach the Mush. Yes, we can. Move to the left and use our hand. And we have 2 remaining action points, which is perfect for our sandglass. And 1 down. Also, there's this transparency mode in case you cannot select the target, so it makes it easier, and that creature mode that we've talked about. If there are just too many participants and it's making your smartphone or tablet lag, you can turn this on and it should reduce the load. As for other options, we'll check them out after this fight. Let's just defeat this larva, get back into normal mode. And level up, level 9. So we got a new spell, Dark Ray, fire damage in straight line. So now we got Mush Thorn. You can see it's 1000 kamas. Poppy Seed, which is actually food for pets. Mushroom, and a couple of magical cures. It's not worth a lot, but it can still be sold. Or used as an ingredient for some of the professions. We'll see about those. We'll see about them later on. So 5 remaining points. Let's just upgrade our hand to level 4 and our sunglass to level 2. As I said, we're going with the intelligence build. So all the red spells are going to be our main go-to hitting spells. Increase our intelligence. And check that other options this game has to offer. So this cog in the upper right, options. Display all monsters in a group. You can just tinker with those to make your game run smoother, or if you have a stronger device, you can set the options to. You can bump them up so you get more out of the game. Other options. Spell tooltips, sound, and fight animations, and stuff you see in a fight, so you can play around with those to your fitting. And for now, oh yeah, the chat panel. Of course, this game is an MMO, so you have to be able to chat. on this right side you can see different channels you can choose from. Also, if you hold, you can see all the channels available. So you have General, Guild, Newbies, Information, Fight. Colosseum is a PvP channel, Alliance channel, and so on. So let's select the Newbie channel and see if there are any players that want to go to the dungeon. Anyone for Incarnam Dungeon? So hopefully there will be somebody online and interested in doing the Incarnate Dungeon. And let's see the achievements for that particular dungeon. So, level 1 to 50. Snow Wolf is the boss, so exactly 1 movement point. That's gonna be a little tough. Defeat the Snow Wolf first, and defeat it with 2 characters in less than 20 turns. That last one should be easy enough. So let's get in front of the dungeon, hoping that we will find somebody. And also you can use these emotes. Just a cute little addition. Alright, going towards the dungeon. 775. We're near. Windows on the right, you can extend them, play around, drag spells to your liking, or remove them completely. So I don't need that punch. I can organize my spells like this. Still no answer. Oops, went one too far. But discovered the Phoenix. Phoenixes are statues that you can that can be used to resurrect you. You see this energy bar? Every time you die, this energy bar shrinks. So you get, I don't know. If I would die now, I would lose 90 energy, and if that bar would come to 0, you would become a ghost, and you would have to go to a phoenix to resurrect yourself. Alright, so Deuterium. You wanna go to the dungeon? Come on, somebody? If not, I'll just try to do it myself, but I will most likely die, because I'm just not strong enough yet. All these guys are offline, they're in merchant mode, and they're selling stuff while they're offline. So this guy is selling parts of the Gobble set. We're gonna need that set. Nope, he's not interested, I guess. Let's try again. Alright, so as we are waiting for somebody to reply, I'd like to talk to you about the second biggest area of this game, or segment of the game, which are professions, but they are still, that panel or that window is unavailable. So let's skip that and seems like nobody's replying. Yeah, let's just go into the dungeon itself. So dungeons are special areas with several rooms that you can go to. The last room features a boss, and all the dungeons, they're pretty popular because of the loot that you can get from it. Some of them provide a great source of experience, because bosses, of course, at the end of the fight they give out more experience. Emotes can be found there, like in Smith Dungeon, there's an emote, and there's also a tailor's manual. That's a book that's required to learn the tailor profession. Some dungeons are hard to get to, not like this one, but let's say Wabbit or Kawa Dungeon is pretty hard to get to. It's got a maze. Also Tofu Dungeon, it's got a couple of rooms with mazes, but it's not really hard. What else? What else? Of course, achievements. You can get achievements from completing dungeons. Special items and loot that isn't available anywhere else. Pets. For completing, let's say, Dwarf Dungeon or Gobble Dungeon, you would get a Dwarky or a Bo Meow, respectively. So, a lot of benefits from dungeons, but right now nobody's interested in Incarnam Dungeon. Oh, and a very important thing, to enter the dungeon you have to have a key. So right now you start with a Incarnam Dungeon key, or you can battle one of the doppels, and get a dopploon, which you can exchange for a bunch of keys, which we'll do a bit later. So for now, let's just consume this key and get inside the dungeon and die in like second or third room. So... I don't know. Oh, we have to complete a couple of more quests to get inside the dungeon. That's nice. Okay, so I'll complete those quests and come back. And in the meantime, I'll probably get a few levels, get a bit stronger. And maybe, just maybe, we can complete the dungeon. But I doubt it. Alright, so see you in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back, and finally I think we're ready for the dungeon. And I found a friend who's willing to play along and get inside. The problem was my level was too low and I couldn't get inside. But now that I'm level 23, adventure awaits. Alright, now that I'm level 23, I can get inside, and also I got a quest that allowed me to get inside. Actually, if you talk to the Carib Captain at 5-1 in Incarnam, he will give you a series of quests called In the Line of Duty, where you have to defeat a certain number of monsters from certain families, such as flowers, larvae, and chafers. And after that he will tell you to go to talk to Instructor Nin, where he will also give you a quest called Dungeonology, where the objective is to defeat the boss. Now, as you can see, there are only 4 monsters inside the first room. Like we said, there are several rooms inside the dungeon, and depending on the number of participants or the size of your group, so the mobs or the monsters that you are fighting against are going to vary. They're not always fixed. You see that 4 of them were colored and 4 of them were grayed. That's because they want to make it easier if the group is not as big, because sometimes there are groups, like we have an example here, of 2 or 3, and then the dungeons with full 8 monsters will be impossible to defeat, or very difficult. So that's why they, if you get inside with a group of 4, then you will battle 4 monsters. If you get inside with a group of 5, you will face 5 monsters, and so on. So when you have 8, you will face the full group of monsters. Also, you can note on the left side that there are 2 challenges available. as opposed to 1 when you're battling monsters outside dungeons. This guy, by the way, is lagging, so he's not gonna be much of help. I think he's gonna get kicked out because of the inactivity or lag. So yeah, you have 2 challenges inside dungeons, which help you get that extra loot and experience. He's taking way too long. So yeah, if he logs out, there you go, he logged out. I'm probably not gonna be able to complete the dungeon, but I'll give my best. So I have consumed the key to get inside the dungeon, and every time you want to enter it, of course, you need to provide a key. The profession that makes keys is the handyman, alongside paddocks and other items. But yeah, because keys don't drop anymore from monsters. Before they used to drop, but right now they can only be crafted. That's one way of entering, and as we said before, you can use a bunch of keys, which you can exchange for 1 doubloon when you defeat a doppel. So, room number 2. A couple of more rooms will be easy enough to defeat, but the final room won't. Yeah, hand cannot pass through obstacles, only the sandglass can. And the other challenges failed as well. But since I'm the only one in the group right now, the drop isn't gonna be as fascinating, so not a big deal. And I'm almost gonna level up. You can see in the upper right corner the challenges that have been failed and the extra experience that I get from being a subscriber. Alright, room number 3. You see, it would be impossible to defeat all 8 of them, so they made it a bit easier for smaller groups to complete dungeons. This is also gonna be pretty feasible. I don't know why I lost. I did use all my action points, right? Oh, I gained 1 from stealing, that's right. But the second challenge will be doable. Alright, 1 challenge done, and a level up. So 2 more levels, and I get my Temporal Dust, an area of effect spell. So room number 4 is the final room. As you can see, the Snow Wolf, the boss, and a couple more monsters. So yeah, this one has 4 rooms, not 5. And the positioning is pretty good, so maybe, just maybe, if it doesn't have too much HP, 220. We'll see. Let's take out the smaller ones first. That's not good. That's not good. He's just buffing himself, and he's gonna have multiple attacks. Just like his friends right here. Nope. As you can see, he's locked me, so I can't get anywhere, I can't escape. But at least I can kill some of his minions. But not quite. There you go. It's also good to see when you die. Remember when I talked about the energy bar? Now it has dropped by 240, so it's your level times 10. But no big deal. This dungeon will get completed eventually. So now that everything's pretty much done in Incarnam, you can go to Astrub, the bigger area, or the main town of the whole game. To do so, we need to go all the way to the right and ask one of the NPCs to teleport us to Astrub. Right towards that big balloon over there. Oops, there we go. So the dungeon was a fail, but at least we saw what it looked like, and we'll come back for it. So, Master Ascension, thank you for Incarnam, and off we go to Astrub City. Thank you, Joris, and goodbye. And we'll stop right here, but before we go, let's just take a look at the map. So this area with all these icons, this is the city, Astrub City. Outside is the outskirts, and all these areas around, as you can see, Christmas Island, a couple more islands, Odomai Island, on the bottom left, Scarleaf Plain. Like I said, the game is pretty new, so there are still a lot of bugs and occasional glitches, and also, as you saw, the game will kick you out eventually, so you have to relog. Anyhow, a lot of islands, a lot of areas to explore, and we'll go through everything, but for now, Incarnam is done and Astrub awaits. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.